Are seniors finally getting a break on their Social Security taxes, or is this just another headline designed to stir hope without delivering real change? Right now, millions of retirees are buzzing about something called the senior bonus. It's been all over the news, with bold promises of no more taxes on Social Security and extra money back in seniors' pockets. Sounds like a dream, right? But as with most things coming out of Washington, there's more to the story than what's flashing in the headlines. What's really going on behind the scenes of this so-called senior bonus? And more importantly, will it actually help you? Let's dig into it. It all started with a catchy slogan. During his campaign rallies, Donald Trump repeatedly vowed to end taxes on Social Security. The crowd cheered every time. No taxes on Social Security, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. That became the rallying cry. Fast forward to today, and suddenly there's talk of a senior bonus being included in his latest legislative effort. Some headlines even claim that taxes on Social Security will finally be eliminated, just like Trump promised. But here's the twist: the bill doesn't quite do what many people think. The official name of this legislation, the One Big Beautiful Bill, yes, that's really what it's called. And just like its name, the bill is bold, flashy, and filled with big promises. Buried within it is something called a temporary tax deduction, specifically targeted at seniors. Here's how it's supposed to work. If you're at least 65 years old and you meet certain income requirements, you could qualify for a deduction of up to $6,000 if you're single, or $12,000 if you're married and filing jointly. That's the Senate's version of the bill. The House of Representatives, however, went smaller, offering just $4,000 per person. Either way, it's being marketed as a major tax break for seniors. But as you'll see, the fine print paints a very different picture. Let's talk about the catch, because there's always one. First off, this deduction only applies to those who are at least 65 years old. So, if you're receiving Social Security early, say, at 62, or if you're on disability benefits, you don't qualify at all. That instantly excludes millions of Americans. But even if you are over 65, you still have to meet strict income requirements. Here's how it breaks down. If you're single and make less than $75,000 a year, or married and earn less than $150,000, you may qualify for the full deduction. But once your income crosses those thresholds, the deduction starts to shrink. By the time you hit $175,000 as a single filer, or $250,000 as a couple, it disappears entirely. Now here's the kicker. Nearly half of all seniors don't pay any federal income tax right now. Their incomes are simply too low to owe anything. For those seniors, those living primarily on Social Security or modest pensions, this new deduction doesn't change a thing. That's right, for millions of retirees, this much high bonus amounts to $0 in tax relief. So who does benefit? Mainly middle-income and upper-middle-income seniors. Think about those still working part-time, or drawing from retirement accounts like 401ks or IRAs, but not making enough to phase out of the deduction. For example, a married couple bringing in around $100,000 annually could see a noticeable benefit. Their taxable income would drop, leading to lower taxes owed. But here's the uncomfortable truth: many of the seniors struggling the most won't see a dime from this bill. If you're living solely on Social Security or on a modest fixed income, you're likely already covered by the standard deduction and existing tax breaks. This new deduction, it doesn't even touch your situation. Now, some viewers might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't Trump promise to eliminate taxes on Social Security altogether? Yes, he did. During his campaign, Trump loudly and repeatedly said there would be no more taxes on Social Security, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. It was a major talking point, but here's the truth. This bill doesn't repeal taxes on Social Security, not even close. Instead, it offers a temporary deduction that might reduce how much of your Social Security income gets taxed, but only if you meet all the conditions we just discussed. The promise and the policy simply don't match. This is one of those classic situations where headlines say one thing, but the fine print tells a much different story. So why not just eliminate the taxes outright? Well, there's a reason politicians tend to avoid making bold promises like that once they're in office. Completely repealing taxes on Social Security would come with a massive price tag. According to the Penn-Wharton budget model, ending those taxes would reduce federal revenue by a jaw-dropping $1.5 trillion over the next decade. That's trillion with a T. And here's something most folks don't realize. The taxes that many people pay on their Social Security security benefits. That money doesn't just vanish into the government's general fund. It actually helps finance social security itself. So if those taxes were eliminated, it could speed up the date when the program's trust fund runs out of money. Current projections suggest that could happen as soon as 2033. With this bill, that depletion date could move up to 2032. It may not seem like a huge difference, but it's enough to make lawmakers nervous. And even this smaller, temporary deduction isn't exactly cheap. If it were made permanent, it would cost the government an estimated $250 billion over 10 years. That's still a hefty sum, adding to the national debt and potentially putting even more pressure on Social Security's long-term solvency. So why did they go with this complicated deduction? Instead of directly cutting Social Security taxes, simple, they had no choice. Senate rules, specifically something called the Byrd Rule, block lawmakers from making direct changes to Social Security taxes or benefits through budget bills. That meant any direct repeal of Social Security taxes was off the table. Instead, lawmakers found a workaround. They created this temporary deduction, which reduces taxable income for some seniors without technically touching Social Security's tax structure. It's a backdoor approach designed to accomplish politically what they couldn't achieve through direct legislation. From the administration's perspective, this is a win. White House officials are now saying that, under the bill, nearly 88% of seniors won't pay taxes on their Social Security benefits. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the catch: many of those seniors weren't paying taxes to begin with. The numbers are padded by people already receiving tax-free Social Security. Let's zoom out for a moment. This new deduction is set to take effect in 2025, and it's only scheduled to last until 2028 or possibly 2029, depending on which version of the bill passes. That means it's not permanent. Congress would have to act again to extend it, and, as we all know, anything can happen in Washington. The benefits are also wildly uneven. A single senior earning $40,000 might enjoy a healthy tax break, perhaps saving a few $100s a year. But a senior living on $20,000 in Social Security, no change whatsoever. And remember, this deduction excludes anyone under 65, including people on disability or those who took early retirement. That's a glaring omission, and advocacy groups are already criticizing the bill for leaving out some of the most vulnerable seniors. So what does this all mean for you? If you're over 65 and your annual income falls somewhere between $40,000 and $100,000, this deduction could put a little extra money back in your pocket. No, it's not a windfall, but for retirees, every bit helps. However, if you're living mainly on Social Security or you're not yet 65, don't expect much from this bill. And beyond the immediate tax break, here's the bigger issue. This bill doesn't solve Social Security's long-term problems. It doesn't boost benefits, it doesn't fix cost of living adjustments, and it certainly doesn't secure the program's future funding. At best, this is a short-term patch, a temporary political solution during an election year. It helps some, ignores others, and leaves the deeper problems untouched. So here's the question I'll leave you with today. Do you think this deduction is fair, or is it just political theater designed to win votes without fixing anything? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. We'll keep digging into the truth behind the headlines and bringing you the facts you deserve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.